Yeah, I just don't think you got what it takes, bro.
See, making music ain't for everybody.
Stop trying to do everything, because then you're gonna get stuff that ends up sounding like this.
This is what it means to live in purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, you already know what time it never is. Let go. I'm serving scriptures to the bodies that be lost in the street. Man, I ain't letting go of nothing, this the gospel to me. I'm never quitting, man, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm focused on my mission like I'm Moses walking straight through the sea. I got a pocket full of pennies cause my soul changed. Even that my Lord's never joined the dope game. Now I'm getting real comfy, let the coat hang. You know I'm in the building, man, I'm about to blow like propane. If all this rapping's an issue, then you could grab a tissue. I'm saving lives with these verses, man, I won't even diss you. You got some hate on your spirit, man, it don't even fit you. You better step out my presence or else my God will fix you. Just know I'm living in purpose to every single daughter. I ain't gonna wait till you give it, man, I'ma take my flowers. Don't need no trophies or glory because he gave me power. I'll just keep repping the kingdom until the final hour. Purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, never letting go.
My purpose, man, it's locked down. Can't take it from me, no, not now. Ain't no way I'ma walk out. I'm fighting on for my God's crown. Got a problem with it, that's on you. Get behind me, Satan, watch God do everything that he said he would, and that's all faith, yeah, understood. Yeah, got a calling, we're showing up. Evil spirit need to step down, otherwise I'll be pulling up. Aftermath, y'all see the blood dripping down, got no love for the enemy. Holy, you better be telling my old self that he's dead to me. See these orders coming in, telling me to go spread the message. You can't tie me down, check it, we moving to the objective. With anointed sound, getting prophetic, y'all can't reject it. But with God, we make a move strictly because he said it. Woo. Ignore all the people that don't want to see you do it for the kingdom. Glory be given to God, and we don't deserve it. When the yang comes, he's putting his heel right on the back of the neck, killing the serpent. The battle is already won, so
this is what it means to live in purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, never letting go. See, we only living in the purpose that God put us in, you feel me? Never letting go. So never mind who you thought we were. Never letting go. I know you feel like you the gatekeeper and everything. Never letting go. But it ain't up to you. Yeah. You already know what time it is. Yeah. 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 I'm feeling like David. Yeah. Feeling like David. Yeah. Can't nobody slay me. Yeah. You can't slay me. I feel like Moses. Yeah. Big Moses. Yeah. Can't nobody hold me. Yeah. Can't nobody. Yeah. I feel like Daniel. Yeah. And what I'm daddy. Yeah. Can't nobody face me. Yeah. You can't face me. I feel like Joseph. Yeah. Big Joseph. Yeah. Can't nobody break me. Yeah. Can't nobody break me. Listen. Why these haters tweaking? Acting like I don't need it. All of my pockets bleeding. All of my sneakers speaking. Never had a pot to piss in. Made a lot of dumb decisions. All of my sins forgiven. Now I got ammunition. No competition. This is the product cause they ain't resilient. I'm gonna make it, don't need an opinion. Ain't gonna fumble, I'm here on a mission. I'm already winning. This is the vision. Feeling like Jesus in front of the millions. Making my mark with some bread and some fishes. Can't take the heat to get out of the kitchen. I'm feeling like David. King David. Yeah. Can't nobody slay me. Yeah. You can't slay me. I feel like Moses. Yeah. Big Moses. Yeah. Can't nobody hold me. me. Can't nobody. I'm feeling like Dale. Big Daddy. Can't nobody face me. I'm feeling like Joseph. Big Joseph. Can't nobody break me. Listen. Stacking the green, I stay in the lab. Heat up the curry, I'm making a splash. Brother, he made me with clay in his hand. Shooting my shot like I'm Kevin Durant. From London to France, I cannot wait till I see all the beautiful cities and land. That is the plan, so I'm gonna need all my checks in advance. Do what I can, even without the best microphone. I'm finna make me a jam. Thanking my God for the things that I have. Turning my water to wine in the flash. Living in fear is a thing of the past. Ignoring the hate that I hear on the gram. You think you the GOAT, but you really a lamb. Here with my Bible, you know who I am. I'm feeling like David. King David. Can't nobody slay me. I feel like Moses. Big Moses. Can't nobody hold me. I'm feeling like Dale. Big Daddy. Can't nobody face me. I feel like Joseph.
Yo.
Big Joseph.
It's your boy WesTheTech in the building. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? We are here. We are blessed to see another day, another week. I am glad to be here. I want to give a big shout out to Starman for joining in early, letting me know about the volume. Make sure I had to get my volume right. Appreciate you so much, brother. How was your week? How's everybody else doing? How y'all doing? Of course, you know what we do here every Tuesdays is the Tuesday Q&As, all right, where we just answer all music industry tips, whatever questions that you guys may have, all right, in regards to the music industry, music distribution, recording, whatever it is. This is an open forum. Anybody could just join in and just ask any questions that you have. All right. But I'm happy to be here another week. Is it Thanksgiving week this week or is it next week? I believe it's next week, because Thanksgiving doesn't actually fall on a particular day. They just have it. They always have it on a Thursday. So it's actually next Thursday. All right. But we're definitely entering the holiday season and the cool part of the year. So I'm just happy to be here. All right. I'm thankful for those who are still joining in. But as people join in, of course, I'm going to get all the particulars out the way. All right. LD40, what's going on, brother? Good seeing you. What's good, bro? Shout out to LD40. I actually saw him live in person the other day, and it was really, really cool. A big shout out to LD40 for joining in as well on the live. Good to see you as well. I'm glad you were able to catch it. All right. Now, of course, let me get the particulars out the way before we continue. All right. My name is WesTheTech. I'm a music business coach. I'm also a full-time recording artist myself. I've been doing music full-time for a little over 5 years now. All right, so I'm pretty much here to stay. I've been doing this for a while, and I pretty much just help every other independent artist who's trying to get to that point of working at 9 to 5 to doing music full-time. I'm here to help you get to that point. All right, because that's exactly where I'm at right now. All right, that's where I have been for a while now, and I just want to share all of my knowledge that I can to help you get there as well. All right, now, of course, what makes me a little bit more unique than other music industry tip people on YouTube is that I actually am an artist myself. I'm not a promoter. I'm not a marketer. I am an artist just like you guys. All right. And all of this information that I learned, I had to learn it on my own. Right. But because there's been so many years of just researching and figuring this stuff out, I have a wealth of knowledge that I could share with you guys to basically help you guys get to where you're trying to get faster. All right. Now, of course, outside of my Tuesday lives that you're watching now, I have my Tech Tick Thursdays, which are videos I drop every Thursday, just giving a new tech tip. Most people who find out about me through those videos. All right. But I have these Tuesday lives as well. That way I can answer the question live for you. And of course, lastly, I have my membership club here for anything additional, priority replies to comments, members only exclusive walkthrough videos, and free monthly music business coaching sessions. All right. Those are extra perks that you could get by joining the membership. All right. So you can click on that join button and it'll tell you of all of the different tiers and everything like that as well. All right, guys. But thank you all again for joining in. Good to see you, Starman, again. LD40 in the building. All right, so we're just gonna jump right into it here. I know I have a lot of questions that I've been piling up, so we're definitely going to get through those. But again, guys, it's an open floor. Whatever questions you guys may have, just feel free to just throw them out there, and if I don't have the answer already, we'll literally figure it out together live on screen. All right, so thank you all for, of course, joining in. Let me just make sure I go on IG here, because I forgot to do that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, music industry tips via YouTube. Now, I do go on IG Live as well. All right, that's where my biggest following is on IG. All right, so I like to go on IG as well. But for those who are watching on IG, just know that for a better experience, just head over to the YouTube, because of course you're not going to see the screen sharing and stuff like that as well. But I just want to make sure I get my IG on as well, which it is now. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. All right, with some of the questions that I have piled up here. All right, so this question was actually asked by Insomniac. Wow. All right, I believe that's with an A. I hope it's with an A, but Insomniac, I think it's a play on words. All right, and the question was asked on my video, how to get YouTube content ID for your music. All right, so what his question was, bro, how do I remove content ID claim on a YouTube beat I bought? I bought the exclusive rights to the beat and uploaded my song, but it says that the content ID owner is Airbit. When I try to dispute it and copy and paste proof of my license agreement, it only holds 2,000 characters for the license, but the full license agreement takes up to 21,000 characters, so I can't show proof. All right, now this is very, very interesting, because obviously he's referring to leasing a beat online, or purchasing, whether it's a lease or exclusive right. You may run into this problem on YouTube, because most producers, when they have their beats on YouTube, they already have the YouTube content ID on there as well, right? So what'll happen is that when you create a song, right, and you distribute it, of course it's going to distribute to all the platforms. It's not going to get rejected or anything like that. But sometimes you have to do extra legwork, because you will get a copyright infringement sometimes on your music that's on your YouTube. Like, let's say you drop a music video of that song, right? You'll get a copyright infringement because they're still tagging it to the original beat, right, through the original content ID that's associated with that beat. So what you would actually have to do is you would have to dispute it, as he says right here. Now, for the sake of this live, I'm gonna just quickly show you guys what it would look like to actually dispute that. All right, but I also do have a video on how to do it. I believe the video that he is referring to, oh no, not that video, but the copyright infringement video is the right video that'll show you exactly how to do that. All right, Starman said, is it a way to content ID without distributing online? To get content ID, from what I've seen so far, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because every time I copy, content ID is always associated with actual distribution. All right, so there is a way that you could do content ID through YouTube directly. All right, but typically you have to have a absorbent amount of views and a bunch of streams and all of those different things before you could even try to get the content ID through YouTube directly. Versus when you distribute the music, you may not even have one stream yet on the YouTube video, but you could get that content ID. So There is a way to do it through YouTube manually. It just requires you to have, I mean, literally tons of views already. All right. And basically the way they look at it is like, okay, if you want content ID through YouTube, people actually have to be using your stuff a lot for that. All right. But and I'll show you a little bit about that as well. But that's a great question, Starman. So this video right here, how to remove YouTube copyright claim from your music video. All right, this could also work for, obviously, if you just have any type of video with your music playing behind it and you're getting that copyright infringement. All right, of course, I'll share the link on the live chat for those of you who are watching now and those who will decide to rewatch this once it's done. All right, but let me show you guys here what you essentially would have to do. All right, so you go to your YouTube content ID, and of course I explain it in the video, so I'm gonna kind of speed through this real quick. All right, I don't think I have a video that has the copyright, but you don't actually have to put your actual leasing, the entire leasing agreement or exclusive rights agreement on there in order for you to dispute it. All you actually really have to do is dispute it in your own words. All right, so let me see if I have anything that needs, because I have to do it all the time. Obviously, for my lives, I play my music in the beginning and the end, so I get the copyright thing all the time. Every video that I post, I get it, right? So I know exactly what it feels like. Can I even do that if it's already approved? No, I probably would have to find something that's, as you can see, all of these, every last one of the videos that you're looking at right now has had this copyright thing. Okay, maybe I could do it on this one right here, because this was for okay, yeah, this is a good idea. All right, so I'm not gonna go through the whole process, but this will kind of show you what I mean. All right, so this is just a video I did for a client of mine, but essentially you would go here when you get the copyright warning, you select the action as it's right here, and then you hit dispute, which is what he's referring to, right? So when you go to dispute, you hit continue. All right, you the process time, it takes up to 30 days, which it does sometimes. Sometimes they get cleared like the next day or the next couple of days. Sometimes it literally takes weeks. So it just depends on their workflow, I guess. But this is important for you guys to know when it comes to actually removing YouTube content ID and removing copyright claims, right? These are the only reasons that will allow you to remove the copyright claim. If it's an original content, meaning it's your music and all yours. If you licensed it, all right, like if you license music through where's that, Airbit, I think it's called, or one of those websites that allow you to license music or sound, right? Copyright exceptions such as fair use. All right, because you know there's songs out there or videos out there that's for fair use, or a public domain, because with public domain it's free for everybody. Anybody has access to it and can use it. All right, now reasons, not a valid reasons, is these over here. I own my own copyright of the song or video. Like, let's say you buy, like it said, buy a CD, DVD, or the song doesn't give you the rights to use that. Buying the CD doesn't mean that you're allowed to use it, even though you actually purchased the CD or the song or the video, right? I'm not making money from my video. Even if you don't monetize your video, you need permission from the copyright owner to use the material. And lastly, posting a disclaimer in the video or description doesn't give you the right to use copyrighted material. I gave credit to the copyright owner. You know, some people feel like as long as I give you credit in the video, I can use it. It's still not a valid reason to remove the copyright on there. So for this case, or the case that he's referring to, you put original content since it is your original song. All right. And then you would hit this little checkbox right here. All right. You continue on. And then here's where he's referring to, right? See, there's only 2,000 characters that you could insert in this box right here. What he tried to do is he tried to put in his entire leasing agreement, or the entire actual agreement itself, which is literally like 3 or 4 pages long. And he tried to fit that in here, but that's not what you have to do. You can simply just write in your own words, write in your own words what you actually are disputing, right? So I'm trying to see if I have my I literally have this whole sentence that I created. I don't think it's on this computer, but actually it might be. Hold on, because if I can find that, you guys will understand exactly what I mean here. Let's see. Starman says, if my channel was flagged for reuse content, do I have to delete all those videos in order to get back monetized? All right, when you said it was flagged, is it like suspended or something like that? Because if it's suspended or something like that, then that may be a different issue altogether. So let me get a little bit more clarification on what you mean by flagged. How did it actually get flagged? All right, because I'm actually curious to know more about that as well. All right, but yeah, let's see. YouTube copyright claim. Let me see if I have. Okay, here, this is perfect right here. This is my actual sentence that I use right here, and I'm gonna copy and paste it so you guys can literally see what I put in here, right? So this is all I put, right? And this is the same thing that I've been using for years now. As you can see, it's literally only 3 little sentences, right? It's not much, and all I express in here is, to whoever this may concern, I am the original creator of this song. I am the artist, and this song is owned by my company, WesTheTech Productions. I am essentially using my own music for my videos. That's it. That's all I put. I don't have to put in any more proof than that, right? Then you just check these boxes, right? And you type in your name, your full name, as it shows in your leasing agreement, right? And then you hit submit, right? And then you'll get that notification that say it'll take up to 30 days, so on and so forth. Obviously, I'm not going to submit this here because I actually don't own rights to that song that I'm showing you guys. This is just it actually was just something that I just uploaded so that my client would be able to actually watch it from YouTube. All right, but that's the process. So like I said, you don't have to put in so much information like, oh, I need to put in the entire leasing agreement. All you got to do is say it in your own words, because here's the thing. What they're going to do is they're going to then go to the song, right? See who has the ownership, right? And it's going to show, it's either going to show a disclaimer from DistroKid or CD Baby or something like that, right? So DistroKid is InterStreet, right? InterStreet Recordings. So you're gonna see that there, and then you're gonna see like InterStreet Recordings, and then the name of your company. So for me, it says InterStreet Recordings : WesTheTech Productions, right? So they know, okay, this is the same person. His name is attached to that. Okay, we clear it, and then they literally clear it, right? So it's not a hard process. The process I showed you is exactly how you do it. You don't have to put the entire agreement with all the words in it to remove it, all right? And again, in the video that I shared, it'll show you exactly how to do that, all right? So Starman said no, suspended, but they not suspended, but they flagged as harmful content each time I reapplied. They disapprove each time. All right, so is that for a particular video? That's got to be for a particular video, right? Not your entire channel, just a particular video. All right. Now, that can happen sometimes, right? Now, I know now that when you upload a video now, they're going to ask you about a bunch of questions like, does this video have nudity, or does this video has vulgar language, or does this video have this? And you just check off the ones that apply to the video. That doesn't mean it'll get approved or denied, but what it does mean is that you're letting YouTube know what type of content it is and how graphic it may be, or whatever the case may be. That way YouTube themselves can put the proper disclaimer on there. Now, what happens is sometimes if you don't put those disclaimers on there and someone decides to report it, they're going to look and say, okay, this had sensitive stuff on here, but when the person uploaded it, they didn't say that, right? So that video can end up being flagged, right? It happens a lot. And they have so many different questions on that. I wish there was a way that I could show you that particular page. Actually, there might be a way. Let me see here. Let me try something real quick. I think I could show you exactly what I'm talking about. Entire channel, I believe. Okay, because I was doing fair use on controversial content, and they kept giving me chance, and they kept giving mean new chances to reapply. Okay, yeah, there's certain things, there's certain controversial content that actually goes against YouTube's terms and conditions. All right, and it's not fair, but it is the reality, right? One of those things is what's one of the big ones? What's one of those big ones that I know? That one's huge. What's the word that I'm looking for? Politics or hate speech when it comes to certain things. They will flag that, and there's nothing you can do to get that on there because that's actually against YouTube's like actual protocol, like under their actual agreement on what they actually allow, right? Something like that you can't do nothing about. You just cannot have that on there. You get what I'm saying? Now once you get flagged from that and you get one of those type of flagging, Starman, there's no way you're gonna get that channel back. There's no way. And the reason I know this as a fact is because I know an artist. There's an artist who reached out to me because, you know, he makes very controversial music. And when I say controversial, you know, he talks about gun laws, and you know, he talks about the LGBT community in a very negative way, you know, and like that right there can be considered as hate, right? So that's against YouTube's terms and conditions. Yes, it's a free country and you're allowed to speak on whatever you want to speak on, but there are certain things that YouTube will never allow, and one of those things is hate. Like if they feel like the content is hate or whatever the case may be, you will get flagged and you could lose your whole channel. The artist that I'm referring to, his music is so it's attacking so many different demographics that every time he distributes with a new distribution company, his music gets out and then they ban him from the distribution company. You know, so he reached out to me. He's like, man, okay, is there another one I can go to? And I keep telling him the same thing. Yeah, you could sign up for another one, but they're going to do the same thing. Their terms and conditions are across the board. And these are the checks that I'm referring to. These, no, I'm sorry, it's Video Elements. It's right here. Let me go here, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. Can I go here? Okay, monetize. Okay, let me put monetization on. I think that the next one, you guys are this one right here, right? So this is exactly the page that I'm referring to. This page right here literally tells you like, okay, what is appropriate and what's not appropriate, right? They have inappropriate language. Why it's important to rate your video accurately, right? So if it has inappropriate language, you would check there, right? And they will let you know. We're just going to do inappropriate language by itself, but as you can see, there's adult content, violence, shocking content. What else they have? Harmful acts and unreliable claims, right? Recreational drug content, enabling dishonest behavior, hateful and derogatory content, which I was just speaking on. Firearm related content, he had that too, which is crazy. Sensitive events, right? And controversial issues, right? But let's just go inappropriate language so you can see the different things, right? So profanity in title, thumbnail, or uses of content. Abbreviated or censored profanity, words like hell or damn in the title, thumbnail, if it has that. Stronger profanity like you know what I'm saying, for the first 7 seconds, boom boom. Stronger profanity. Now you check what is applied for you, right? Thank you for joining in, EXO Young Mommy. We're actually talking about music industry stuff. Good morning. If you have any music industry tip questions, feel free to ask them right here on the live here, and I'll be able to answer them for you. All right. Now, if it's something that you would like for me to actually show you on screen, head over to my YouTube. The link is in my bio, also in my story, and you could join in on the chat here and ask your questions there as well, and I can help you. But I'm just here helping with music industry tips. All right. Now, whatever you decide to select, right, you go through all of them. You go through all of them and, you know, try to be as honest as possible. because once you put whatever you put and you hit submit rating, they're gonna let you know what the rating is, or they'll let you know, hey, this content goes against our terms and conditions. So if you submit it, it will have a chance to be flagged. They will let you know all of this stuff, rate in all of these different things here. That's why it's very, very important to, whatever your content is, to actually go through this the proper way. That doesn't mean that like you'll get banned for answering it honestly or anything like that. It's just, if you want that content to show up on YouTube, there's certain things that you just have to answer. All right. And this is the section where they'll do that for every video. Now, if you decide to submit it without doing that and you decide to hit none of the above in the video, right? So they're like, okay, this is eligible for all of this stuff. And then once it gets released and it has any of those things, that's where you run into the issue. All right. But it's very unfortunate, Starman. I'm sorry that happened to you. Now, you said also, what's the best way to prevent other smaller artists from using your artist name? Is trademark a good company to trademark to trademark a name for that? Well, honestly, Starman, like, excuse me, a trademark, companies that help with trademarking isn't bad. I'm not against that at all. Keep editing, save draft. I guess save draft. What is this? Oh yeah, that's just a video I just uploaded just to show what I was doing. Okay. So let's go back to YouTube here just in case. All right, and we could delete that. All right, so to answer that question more closely, I would say this, and LD's 40 on here as well, so he could testify to this. You actually could submit your own trademarks and do it yourself. You don't necessarily need to hire a company to do that for you, because you're already going to spend money trademarking it through the trademark department in the US anyway, right? So if you already have to pay for that, then you're going to pay somebody to help you go through the process, even though the process is not that difficult and you can do it yourself. All you got to do is go to the trademark website and actually submit it. All right. I'm going to share, Starman, I'm going to share the actual trademark website with you. It's the official trademark US. It's like UST. I'm about to show it to you right now. But, right. So, for example, right, Trademark Filing USA. That's a company that helps you trademark, right? They're saying $35. That's just how much it is to register it, right? If there's any other things that they're going to help you with, they're going to charge you more for it, right? Anytime you see stuff like this, these are all companies that help you. LegalZoom will help you with it. This is the actual trademark website right here, uspto.gov. Right, the United States Patent and Trademark Office is actually, yeah, there it goes right there. See, I just know it at this point. But right, trademark. So the first part of your question, also, what's the best way to prevent other small artists of using your artist name? Is yes, trademarking your name. Right, the trademarking your name is a good way to do it. Now, when you go to the trademark website, of course, you want to check to see if somebody already has it, a trademark for it. And that's where you would hit this button right here that says search trademarks, when you could search the name and see if somebody may have it already. All right, because obviously if somebody has a trademark, you can't then trademark it because they already did, right? So, but the other thing you could do is, of course, is actually submit a trademark, right? And then actually like, okay, I'm going to do a new application. As you can see, we are currently examining new applications submitted between April and May, right? LD40 could testify to this as well. It takes a long time for a trademark to get through, right? We're in November right now, and they are processing back in April and May. That just shows you how much trademarks they get a year, a month, right? They're not even, they're still in the first quarter of the year as far as processing them, right? So it does take a long time, but you can do it yourself. All right. It's, and the website is very, very good at telling you what to do, how to do it, and all of those different things. If you want to use a third party to help you do it, Starman, there's nothing against that as well. All right. But that's just paying somebody additionally to do something that you could probably do yourself. And of course, there's, one thing I always say is YouTube University. Hey, you guys are watching me on YouTube right now learning this stuff. There's people on YouTube right now that will tell you exactly how to trademark your name, your artist name. You can literally how to trademark my artist name. And, you'll find videos of people showing you step by step how to do it. Right. Okay, let me say it the right way. I have the content to create the video because I recorded my whole trademarking process, but I just haven't actually released it yet and made an actual video of it. But it will be coming soon. All right, and when I do finally drop it, all right, I'll make sure that I'll let you guys know in case you want to look at it. But that is a great question as well. Again, I didn't use a company. I just did it directly, and I think you could do the same thing as well. You just watch a couple of YouTube videos, and you should know exactly how to do it. All right, but I hope that answers your question, Starman. But yeah, you could definitely do it for sure. All right. And yeah, that's trademarking right there. That's trademarking. Very, very great question. So let's go back to this question over here. All right. Boom. All right. And yeah, that's the answer to that question. All right. Insomniac, I'll make sure that I share this link to you so that you can see that your question was answered live on this particular live stream here. All right. So now let's go to the next question. Hold up. Boom. All right. So the next question was, thanks, bro, for helping. Always good information. Most def. Thank you for asking it, because I'm sure, if you don't ask, there's probably somebody else out there who asks the same exact question. But because you asked it, you get the answer, but so do they as well. So I appreciate you for asking the question, and for anybody else who answers questions, asks questions as well. All right. So the next question is from Michael D. All right, Michael D, 2176. All right. And this was a question that was asked on the video I did in regards to TOOLOS. Should I use TOOLOS for music distribution? So his question was, how do I fix a metadata issue on, I guess he was trying to say TOOLOS. I was going through the process, but it asked me to fix a metadata problem. All right. So I think I saved this video particularly just to talk about metadata in general. All right. So what metadata is literally data or information, right, that is connected to your or attached to your song. All right. Things like the title name, all right, the title of the song, the album name, the year the song came out, when it was recorded. All of that stuff is metadata that can be attached to the actual music file of your song. So your MP3 will have metadata. All right. So to give you an example, right? Let me see if I could go to one of my songs here to give you guys a good perspective on this. Boom. Let me see. I guess Never Letting Go. Okay. Boom. All right. So do you know when you see a song, right? When you see the MP3 of the song, but like on the MP3 of the song, you actually see the cover of the song as well, like on the MP3 file. That's because the actual cover art picture, that file, was attached to the metadata of the MP3 of the song itself. All right. Like, let's say the song shows you the artist title, all of those different things. Like if I were to hit get info and it had like, see the title, the artist name, if it had all of that information, that would actually be the metadata. All right. So when it comes to having metadata issues, that probably means that something was entered in incorrectly or something isn't matching. All right. Now, of course, I don't distribute my music through TOOLOS, so I don't know the entire process of distributing your music on TOOLOS, but I do know what metadata issues look like, and typically it's something that's not matching up or not making sense. Like, let's say you might have a release date, like the release date, you want it to be released, this Friday, but your release date is for a release date in 2022. right, you're going to get a metadata error because obviously 2022 has already passed. It can't be your release date. All right. So you're not going to be able to submit that. So anytime that you're running into a metadata issue, you just want to make sure that you are absolutely double checking everything and make sure all the information that you have on your song is actually correct, that there's no mistakes, that everything is filled out correctly, everything is filled out the way it's supposed to be filled out. All right, it's the same thing as the ID tags, right? The ID tags in your music, or the what do they call them? The 3V. Oh my gosh. Pro Tools has a name for it. The 3V. Oh my goodness. Let me see. ID tag 3V. Yeah, 3V2 or something like that. It's weird, but like here it goes. This is what I was looking for, right? ID 3 version 2.3. These are different ID tags. ID tags is part of the metadata. All right, it's all, and there it goes. ID 3. Oh, you guys don't see it. Let me show you. All right, ID 3 version 2.3, ID 3 version 2.4. All right, this is the ID tags that's on your song. ID 3 is a metadata container, most often used in conjunction with an MP3 audio file format. Right? Do I have time? All right, I do have a little time. All right, because what I'll do is I'm actually gonna open up Pro Tools for you guys so you guys can see. Because this is something that you'll see when you're exporting. And this is very, very important when you're exporting your music file. Because when it comes to radio, for example, radio stations, they don't want an ID3 tag. They don't want any tags on it whatsoever when it comes to the radio. When it comes to submitting your music to MediaBase, and you know, MediaBase is the people, or Luminate, MediaBase, they're the people who actually get your music on Billboard charts, right? They don't want any IDs or any metadata associated with it either. So if your MP3 has a song, your single cover on it, like on the actual MP3 file itself, it won't be approved on Luminate or MediaBase. All right, now, you guys may not know what I'm talking about when I say Luminate. So let me just do this here, because I've done a video on this before, Luminate or MediaBase. All right. Essentially, Luminate and MediaBase used to be two separate companies. Now they have merged into one. All right. But this is essentially what they do, how to track your radio plays on Billboard charts. They basically get your music on Billboard charts, right? How to register a song with BDS, MediaBase, and SoundScan, which used to be Luminate. All right. If you've never heard of any of those names and this all sounds foreign to you guys, make sure you watch this video, because in this video I break it down exactly what it is and why it's important. Right? Without registering your song to one of these things, you'll never be on any Billboard charts. You'll never be on any online radio charts or any of those different things, because how you register your song to be charted on the billboards and stuff like that is through MediaBase. This is how you do it. All right. In that video, I show you step by step how to do it. But one of the steps of the process is to actually upload the MP3. But again, the MP3 has to be naked. It can't have any metadata on it whatsoever. All right. So like going back to my song here, that's why I was trying to find a song that I have with metadata, but I instinctively never have metadata on my MP3. You see this MP3? Nothing. There's no cover or anything. If I go to the info, you're not going to see any metadata like artist name or anything like that, or album it comes from. This is absolutely dry. There's nothing on there. There's no metadata on it at all, because I keep it that way so that I'm able to register it without any issues, because sometimes you may forget, right? So you want to make sure that you are exporting the right way, right? So I'm going to quickly open this right here, and I'm going to go through the export process of this song just so you guys can see the ID tag thing that I'm referring to, because a lot of people make this mistake when they're exporting, and then they try to submit to radio and then they get denied. Why? Because you have metadata on there, and they don't accept any MP3s with metadata on it. They want it to be completely dry. They don't want any additional information on your MP3 if it's not necessary. Now, there's other cases that is important, right? When you're listening to your music in your car, right? Oh, and then the title of the song comes up in your car, on your car radio, right? The artist name comes up, right? The album comes up on your car screen. They're using the metadata to do that, right? Because the MP3 is really just the audio file plus the information that's associated with it, right? So let me show you guys this here. And I know I sound weird, but that's because Pro Tools is on, right? So if you're hitting bounce, right? And you just hit bounce just like that. This is the ID tag. This how it looks right here. This is how it's going to show up, right? As you can see, here's the tag type. ID3 version 1. Now you could change this and you could just put none, which is how it's supposed to be when you're submitting to radio. You're supposed to have none whatsoever. If you have any of these ID tags with the title, the artist name, the album, comments, genre, track number, year, it can be denied, right? So you want to avoid putting that stuff when you're doing your final export. And I'll close Pro Tools now. Don't say it because I ain't doing anything. When you're doing your final export, because again, you don't want your song to be rejected because of that reason. And a lot of the times these radio stations won't even tell you that's the reason. They won't even contact you back and be like, yeah, we didn't pick it, not because it wasn't good, but because you had metadata associated with it, which I think is kind of messed up. Like if you're gonna deny me, at least tell me so I know. Like if you don't like the song, you don't like the song. But if it's something like that, why not tell me? But at the same time, you got to look at it from their perspective. They get hundreds of submissions a day, so they're just cycling through. Oh, metadata out, metadata out, metadata out. They're removing them before listening to them, because what's the point, right? Because they can't do nothing with it anyway, right? And then the ones that are clean the way they're supposed to do, those are the ones they take the time to listen to. I've seen a radio station do this right in front of my eyes before, and it was crazy, right? But I understand, because they tell you in the instructions, in the submission process, how to submit it, what they are looking for and what they don't want to see. So if you submit something to them they don't want to see, why should they waste the time and look at it, right? It's a cold world when it comes to the music industry, or I should say even better, the music industry is unforgiving. It's unforgiving, and they're very impatient, right? So you got to always make sure you're submitting stuff the right way so that you don't get rejected for any reason. If you're going to reject me because of the music not fitting your station. Don't reject me for some minor thing like the metadata, right? So we have to do our part to make sure we're submitting things correctly. Now, I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but I thought that was very, very important to talk about, because again, I've seen this happen so many times, and I've seen people literally get rejected because of this. So I'm just trying to save you guys from the same fate. You get what I'm saying? But that definitely was a great question. All right. Well, it's a question that sparked another question. So thank you, Michael, for that question there. Now we're going to move on to the next one. So, you know what? And it looks like it might be the same thing. But this question is from Bradley McKnight. All right. And it was on the video that I posted about radio spins, how to track radio spins with Apple Music for Artists, which is really, really dope. And guys, if you guys don't have Apple Music for Artists, that app on your phone, please have that. And if you guys aren't submitting to Apple or distributing your music to Apple Music, you need to, because it pays a little bit more than Spotify, and why not, right? But his question is this: in order for Apple Music to be able to know which radio station you are being played on from anywhere in the world, does your ISRC and UPC code have to be registered with a particular organization for this to be tracked? If the radio station just has my WAV file, how does Apple Music know this? Oh, that's such a great question. That's such a great question. Well, I'm going to answer this two ways, right? Some radio stations, they will actually just research your ISRC code and your UPC code if they know the title of your song. Now, where do you get those two codes from? You get those, the ISRC code and the UPC code, every time you distribute a song through a music distribution company. All right, so let's say you're with DistroKid and you distribute your song with them. The first two things they're going to give you is an ISRC code for that song, and they're going to give you a UPC, right? Universal. Ooh, I forgot the P for that one, but I know this is the International Sound Recording Code. I know that one. I forgot the P in this one, all right? But you're going to get those two codes. They're going to issue out those two codes. Now, if the radio station needs that information, they could look it up. Now, don't get me wrong. Some radio stations ask you to submit that information when you actually submit the song, right? There's certain radio stations that I submit to when I go to the website. They're going to ask you for these two codes before you even upload the MP3, right? But other radio stations, what they'll do, they'll look it up, right? So they'll go ISRC lookup, right? And they'll go to one of these ISRC lookup websites where they could put the artist name and the song, and it may give them the actual ISRC code, right? Like, let's say the song that's playing right now, right? That's Feeling Like David by myself, right? Feeling Like David, right? Release name is, and maybe I could just search it with that, right? And look, right? Automatically it comes up here. Here it is right here. There goes my ISRC code for it right now, right? So there's so many different websites that do this right here where they could do the ISRC code lookup and find it. Now, your UPC is always going to be attached to your ISRC, right? So some places, they just ask for the ISRC and they don't need the UPC because they're linked together, right? But that is only if the radio station is willing to do all of that, all right? Some radio stations, like I told you before, won't even accept you if you submitted the wrong way, right? The other way that obviously radio stations would know that is, besides looking it up, is obviously asking it to you, asking you to submit it, all right, with the actual song, all right? I wish I could offhand just think of a, actually, I might know one. GA Street, yeah, check this out, right? This is one of the stations that I regularly submit my music to. All right, God's House of Hip Hop. All right, for those of you who don't know, I make Christian hip hop music. So that's obviously I send my music to stations that cater to my genre of music, right? Which is very important for you guys to do as well. Make sure you are doing that when you're submitting your music. Don't just submit anywhere. So submit to a platform that makes sense to your music, right? If you make like gangster music or whatever, you need to be submitting to stations that accept gangster music, right? If you're trying to submit somewhere that don't even play your type of music, then what real chance are you giving yourself? You get what I'm saying? But as you can see here we go, submissions, right? When I hit submissions, and you can literally do that for any site. This is the information I was telling you guys about. They will literally tell you everything that they need. Please read below. If you ignore this and submit something that don't meet their criteria, they will reject you. It's just that simple. I've seen it happen so many times. But let's just read just so you guys can have an idea of what some of this stuff looks like, right? So obviously for them, we are Christian hip hop, Latin hip hop, gospel station. All music must be submitted to us, must have at least 16 bars of rap in it. All right, a repeat chant and or chorus does not count. It has to be rap to be considered for airplay on this station, essentially. Another note, if you are using leased beats, which we talked about, right, a little bit earlier, Shazam your beat to make sure that it hasn't already been released from someone else. We will no longer be playing music with the same beat. If we have a song playing on the station and an artist submits a similar or exact beat, no matter how good the song is, we will not play it. We need all records to be registered, which we discussed, right? Make sure you get your stuff registered the right way, right? We do not accept any links to Google's drives or any other drives, all right? Reviews digital. They reviewed the digital submissions on Tuesdays. Your digital submissions must be high quality and comparable to the music we play. Please listen to our station before submitting. We accept MP3s at the bit rate of 320. No exceptions and no WAV files. Meaning if you send something in 640, it's going to be rejected, right? If you send a WAV, it's going to be rejected. You guys have to take this stuff serious. Please make sure the metadata is complete on the track. So this station in particular, they want you to make sure that you have the metadata in it. So what I just showed you on Pro Tools, right, when you're exporting, they actually want you to fill that stuff out, right? All files should have the following: artist, track number, title, album, year, and ISRC code, right? Please also submit a lyric sheet with your song submission. No exceptions, right? Artists, please upload your lyrics to genius.com. Song file should have the ISRC code. And here it goes. If it does not, we will not consider it. Some distribution companies assign our ISRC codes when you upload your music for distribution. To learn more about the international standard recording codes at IRC, right? So shout out to them because they actually give you information on the ISRC code if you don't know. But a lot of radio stations don't. They expect you to know this already, right? And obviously the cover art has to be a particular size, right? Like, yo, guys, when I tell you, you guys got to follow this to the letter, literally, right? But once you do all of that, then click here to submit, right? And then what they're going to do is they're going to bring you to this form, all right? And you got to fill out all the information on the form. Email, first name, last name, stage name, right? Name of the song as registered on the BDS. We spoke about the BDS, Luminate, media base. Is crazy how all the different things we talked about already are all coming together to make sense, right? BDS, we spoke about that. Is it registered? Yes, it's registered. Guys, you have to register because, like I said, some stations won't even take you unless you're registered. MP3, make sure your MP3 is labeled with this stuff. Exactly, right? Cover art, ISRC code, Genius link, right? This is just one station and all the requirements for that other station. Some stations is just like this. Some stations, they don't want anything on the metadata. But here, let's talk about it, right? You have the MP3. You exported it with the metadata for this station. You go to another website. You're like, oh, I already exported the MP3. Let me just submit it to the other station. Come to find out, the other station don't want any metadata on the song whatsoever, right? Now, you're going to get rejected over there before they even listen to it because you weren't supposed to have metadata on that one. You see what I mean? So you literally have to read it first. Then you export the type of file that you're going to need for them specifically and then submit it, right? Another station may only want WAV. I know a radio station that only accepts WAV. They don't take MP3s at all, right? And you have to put it on a Google Drive or Dropbox, right? That's literally the opposite of this. They're saying no waves, right? Every station has their own requirements. So when you're submitting to these stations for possible radio airplay, you're going to have probably like 5 or 6 versions of your song. Wave, MP3, one with metadata, one without. You'll have all of these different versions because you're literally catering exactly to what they need, right? This website, they want the cover art to be 1600 by 1600, right? Where is it? Yeah, 16 by 1600, right? The actual cover art dimensions. Some places will ask 3000 by 3000. Some will ask 800 by 800. So guess what? You're going to have to resize that cover art to fit the different sizes as well. But it seems like it's not that big of a deal. But if you've never been approved to a site because you just sent them whatever, then that may be one of the biggest reasons why. 9 out of 10 times, if they like my music, they play my music and they accept my music because I always follow the requirements of what they ask for. To a point that before I even go to the site, I already know what they're asking for, so I'm already preparing it for them. You guys get what I'm saying? But this is very, very important stuff for you guys to know and you guys to always consider when you're submitting your music as an independent artist for radio play. Radio play pays very, very well, especially if you have it in the right places. All right, so if you're looking for radio play and you take it serious and you want to really start making real income off of your music, you have to find these websites and you have to submit your music the proper way. I cannot stress that enough. I've seen it so many times with people who get rejected because they didn't submit the right way. And I've seen so many times people get accepted because they did submit the right way, even though their song wasn't that good. You get what I'm saying? So it's more so following the rules than anything else, right? It's like when you take the SATs or the FCAT or whatever, right? You get points just filling out your name up top, right? And you lose points if you don't, right? It's just simple following directions. They don't test you on your knowledge. They test you on if you can follow directions. You get what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things in life that is just like that. It's all about, are you taking the time to read the directions and follow it? All right, but I hope that's helpful to you guys. I hope that makes sense. Bradley McKnight, I'll make sure to actually send that to you as well. All right, but that was a great question. All right, and I will do one more question right here before we close. All right, and this question was from Size001 Real Sound Wave. All right, so the question was asked on my video, how to promote your music with DistroKid. All right, why? And his question is, why DistroKid is delaying my royalty after 8 months. All right, this is a great question, but this is something that just needs to be talked about when it comes to certain music distribution companies in general. All right, DistroKid is always delayed when it comes to your royalties, right? So typically the royalties that you're getting is from months ago. It can be up to 8 months sometimes. It could be up to 6 months sometimes. It just really depends on them and how long it's taking them to actually collect it for you. This is something that you are going to deal with certain, not all, certain. There are other distribution companies that will literally pay you as like the same day of the stream, the same exact day, right? They obviously have a better process, a faster process, right? TuneCore, for example, is the longest one. TuneCore, you don't get your first royalty payment until a year after you've already been with them. It's in their terms and conditions. You have to have them for a full year before you get your first royalty, right? I remember I having an artist who came in and he was like, yo, I've never gotten paid for TuneCore yet. I don't know what's going on. Like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, well, how long you been on there? It was like 9 months. So I was like, let's look into the terms and conditions and see if there's, what the actual payout process is. And when we looked, sure enough, it said right in the terms and conditions. That's how I found out that it takes after a year of having them is when they will pay out their first royalty. Meaning if you sign up with TuneCore today, which is November 19th, and you release a song today, November 19th, 2024, you won't start collecting royalties until November 19, 2025. So what does that also mean? That also means that you just paid for a year of TuneCore, a year of distribution, and you didn't make anything from TuneCore, regardless how much royalties, how much streams you have. Now, after that year, after they renew it, obviously, and you have to pay them for the following year because you've already met the anniversary, and they're going to charge you the annual again. From that point, you'll start collecting your royalties. Now, has it changed since the last time I discussed this? Maybe, right? But last time I checked, it was a good while ago. That's how it was, right? I hope that they changed since then, but this is something that you have to always consider when picking a distribution company. Right now, I've been with DistroKid for a long time. All right, I left them recently because, quite frankly, they are priced way too high in comparison to other things, and they nickel and dime you with so many different things, right? But even with that, the reason I stayed with them for so long is because they had so many benefits and so many different things that most distribution companies didn't have. Like for a long time, I felt that DistroKid was like the Lamborghini or that might not be a good example. The Toyota would probably be a better example. The Toyota music distribution companies, right? It offers you everything from gas efficiency to reliability. It looks good, all of those different things. But you got to pay for that, right? A Toyota, even though Toyotas don't seem that expensive, a Toyota is a lot more expensive than, let's say, a Dodge or a Jeep, or any American car is going to be less than a Toyota. You get what I'm saying? Unless you're talking about luxury cars, right? But even with luxury cars, the more expensive luxury cars are the more reliable ones than the others. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at DistroKid. It was like, bro, it has so many features that you will never find anywhere else. So it's worth the price, right? But I don't think that's the case anymore. I believe that Symphonic is right there with them now when it comes to features and stuff that they offer. And I'm actually currently transitioning from DistroKid to Symphonic. All right, I've already released some things with Symphonics. I'm just waiting for the year to be over so I could really see. I want to keep them for a full year before I ultimately make that shift, right? Because if I change to Symphonic, I'm not trying to change again a couple of months later. But of course, I will update you guys on that. I'll let you know what's going on with that, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a great question. All right, delays will happen. That's to be expected with DistroKid for sure, but with other distribution companies as well. So just be on the lookout. And if you want, and if that's very, very important to you, like when you actually get paid, definitely look into the terms and conditions before you decide to actually pick that distribution company. All right, but that's pretty much it, everybody. My hours is up here. I'm glad I was able to answer the question. A shout out to LD40 and Starman for jumping on. All right, thank you guys for asking some very, very great questions. I'm glad I was able to get some questions answered from some previous comments as well. And thank you all for joining in for the live. All right, thank you guys for joining in on IG as well. I know a lot of you jumped in and jumped out, all right, and then hopped onto the YouTube. That's cool as well. No issues with that whatsoever. I appreciate y'all. And again, every Tuesday I will be on here from noon to 1 o'clock, just answering any music industry questions, whether on IG or YouTube here. I'm just here to help you guys out, all right? But that's pretty much it. Of course, the last thing I will mention again is my membership club here. This is for any one of you guys who's looking for additional things, all right, like priority replies to comments, members only exclusive walkthrough videos, and music business coaching. You get that little join button right there and take a look at the different tiers and what comes with them, all right? But thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate having you guys. And be on the lookout for this week's tech tip, which will drop this Thursday. All right, again, this Thursday will be my next tech tip, and you'll see me on live here again next Tuesday. All right, but thank you guys for joining in. Peace out. Starman, LD40, always a pleasure. Good to see you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Look into the mirror, I can see my reflection. See the way that I be sinning, man, it's hella depressing. Reminiscing about the past, and will it keep me from heaven? Is there any way to fix it? Can I find some redemption? Growing up, nothing was easy. My mother and father were beefing. Remember the days at the precinct. I thought that my dad would come see me. Man, I hated it. The child inside me was sinking. I fought anybody that teased me. The anger inside me was peaking. See, I was far from the garden they Eden, losing the battle to all of my demons. All of my bros, yeah, they were the beacon. Got me this side of the church on the weekends. Man, I remember they gave me the thesis. Taught me that nothing was greater than Jesus. Took me a while to get it.